Okay, so the next step, what I'm going to do is clean up the cones a little bit, just so I don't have too much excess running off of these. And then I'm going to actually check the occlusion of that mesial buccal. I might add a little bit to the lingual side of that cone, just to make sure I have the contact inside the occlusal table. And then I'm going to create my mesial marginal ridge. All right, so that's hitting pretty nicely right on the top of where I had that cone, and it's contacting. Should probably clean this off at some point, but contacting on the marginal ridge of the maxillary first molar as well. So that seems to be in a pretty good location. And now I'm going to create the marginal ridge. And again, because I have the base already in place, it should be relatively easy to kind of extend that marginal ridge out. Again, without this base or this coping here, this step would be near impossible because I'd have nowhere to put this wax. It would just fall off into the void between the two teeth. So. And as you notice, I'm doing this outside of the mouth because I've created that border. I don't have to have it in there because I don't want to accidentally attach these two teeth together. So I don't want 19 and 20 to be like stuck together with wax. I saw a couple of you as you were doing this for the first time, the teeth kind of got waxed together or bound together by the wax, and then when you went to take it apart, it broke, and that can be a little frustrating at the beginning as well. So a couple of things I want to evaluate here is the marginal ridge height. And I want to start developing my gingival and occlusal embrasures in this step as well. So I'm going to add a little bit more to the height of that mid mesial marginal ridge just to get it in line. One of the things you can see that's different with your Typodon as well, if you notice how tall this distal marginal ridge and this distal cusp are, if you look at yours, I had those brought down just to make sure that the occlusion we didn't interfere with the occlusion that you're trying to create on the mesial half of this tooth. So that'll look a little bit different than mine. It should make your wax up just a tad bit easier as well. As you'll notice, I added a little bit of wax to that mesial surface. I wanted to make sure I have a really distinct contact there. This is too heavy now. I can't actually seat this without breaking the wax. And that was done by design at this point. So now that I know that I've established, you can actually see where it's kind of hitting. Oh, thank you. Now that I know that I've established a really tight contact, I'm going to go through and clean up the gingival aspect in order to create the embrasure. And then I'm also going to remove some of the wax from the contact area. In order to establish a nice gingival and occlusal embrasure. The other thing I want to do is remove some of the wax internally as well, because I want to be able to create my mesial pit. So I don't want this marginal ridge to be as wide, and sometimes the wax will get into that space and increase some of the width of this as well. And I'm just kind of eyeballing based on what I saw when I tried it in initially. So I can see now marginal ridge height's too high. I added a little bit of wax there right at the end. But contact looks better, and I'm starting to form that gingival embrasure that I want as well. So it's just a matter of now bringing down the marginal ridge and creating the proper height for that marginal ridge. And then starting with the rest of the occlusal table. Right, that's looking better. I don't know if I want to take too much away from it right now. It's still a little high, but when I go to do the finishing process, I'm going to have to remove more anyway. So at this point, we're going to move on to our occlusal table.